I'll say
Yeah.
that boy.
And who else am I here with?
And Brandon.
AKA Tom
It's your
Cruise.
boy. Yeah, hell yeah.
AKA who?
Homie number one,
Okay.
the real G Skillet.
He has many talents, many hats. So does he.
Call me the Teletronic Nightmare.
Facts.
Back home in Chicago.
That's different. That's different. That's different. All right. Today, look, this video is like a fake real podcast because we're gonna cover some real stuff, but like really we just enjoying being in this setting in the studio and we just making the best of it. So that's what that is. And no, I'm not sponsored by Dr. Pepper, but look, I will keep drinking this if y'all want to sponsor me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about him with the Sunkist, but y'all could, if y'all want to sponsor me, I will drink this drink and promote it for y'all. I'm telling you. But anyway, I think tonight actually, I think one of the subjects we want to discuss is like impulse control and how it's important, and then also how to manage it. So like, I'm gonna start with you. How do you feel about just the whole thing with impulse control, and like, do you have an issue with it, or like what's going on?
I believe impulse control is crazy, man. Like, due to the fact being that like you need to do something all the time, or like you can't control your own behavior, is something of a fear that I have, or I think a fear that I have of people, because we all have free will.
I'll keep going. My bad.
Oh, my bad. No, it's
no. I was agreeing with you. I was like, yeah, that's the good and bad thing, right?
Yeah, it's a good and bad. Cause like we all have free will, but it's like it's kind of crazy that like we can misuse our free will, and it can start to take over.
I feel that. What about you? How do you feel about impulse control and doing things like that? The subject of it.
I think, I don't know, I was telling you about it earlier. I think there's like a balance to everything. So, you know, the second whatever that impulse is starts impeding or like interfering with like your needs, that's when it's an issue. And that can be applied to anything like alcoholism or like, you know, simple stupid stuff. Like if it's not, I feel like if it's not like hurting you or anyone else in any other way, like, you know, have at it. But, you know, really you're the only person that will be able to tell if it's like hindering you. You know, no one else is going to be able to say like, hey, like you have a problem unless it's like apparent and very obvious.
Yeah.
Like, and naturally people would like try to hide that. So I don't know, it's just up to the person.
Yeah.
Self-assessment.
I feel that. I feel like when it comes to impulse control, it's something that me personally, like, I haven't practiced controlling my impulses because of free will. You know what I'm saying? And then also, not only just that, I just feel like, you know, like for some reason my body and my brain feels like I gotta be, I guess, consuming something or like doing something. So like, I'm gonna just bring an example of earlier. We was in we still in the studio, but we was in the recording session or whatever. I'm like, man, like when I'm out, I either want to be like really drunk or I want to get really high. And if I don't want to do either one of those for some reason, like I just want to eat a lot of food or something. Like I just can't control it. And I'm like, am I hungry? I don't even think I'm really hungry. I just think I want to eat because it feels like I'm doing something or something. I'm like, man, like I feel like being just out in general, like goes to what he's saying. Like if I'm not hurting anybody or harming anybody or myself, then it's okay, right? But then it also gets to the point where like there are things I know I want to do that they aren't mandatory to do, but like
Let's take a look at instant
it's something that I really want to do, right? So it's like I have to be able to control some impulses to get to that point. And it's like, man, I'll say though, it's easier said than done. Way easier said than done. Like, because I feel like me personally, when I fall into my impulses, I enjoy them at the moment. But like when it comes to like other things that I like feel like I need to have or want to do, it does get to the point where it's like, why did I make the decision before? And now I'm missing out on something that I don't necessarily have to have. Or some things I do have to have, but then it's like, fuck. It's like, if I could have just controlled myself in the moment, and it's like, I don't care how old you are. It's like an ongoing battle. I don't know how y'all feel about, what I just said or whatever. But.
Yeah, it's like you find that balance, but like shit's gonna sway you either way, and like building that mental fortitude, to like stay in that like healthy space with whatever. It's not necessarily like vices. It's like tendencies. I don't know. Like just going back to what we were saying. Like, it's the balance and like mentally being strong enough to like know your limits and know that balance point.
Which is hard to know sometimes.
Yeah.
What you thinking?
It really is hard, like noticing the balance and whatnot, because sometimes there can be points in your life where like you decide to cut some things out and you end up gaining new impulses or gaining new problems, just to like overcompensate. And that's where it's like, okay, now you need to learn, like, okay, now like I feel like when it comes to having impulse control, you should also do some inner work. And that's something that I am lacking in and that I'm trying to work on, is like understanding where is this problem coming from? Like, why am I doing this? Like, keep asking yourself why and being like, okay, before we start to like, before I say like, I don't even call it like, oh yeah, like just like diving into your impulses. I just say it's crashing out. You crashing out. Why are you crashing out right now? Like, it's because of what? How are you feeling right now? I'm feeling sad. Or like, okay, so I want to do this because I'm feeling sad. Or like, I'm lit. Everybody's lit. I'm happy. So let me do this. And you know what? I want to still be happy. So let me keep doing this. And it's like, yeah, right. But it's like, it can turn into a crutch sometimes.
I feel that 1000%. I like if people feel how I feel, like let's put this in like a example, right? I feel like we can bring up financials too. Let's say there's something I want to do Saturday. We're in the studio. Let's say there's a studio session I need to, or I don't have to be at the studio session, but it's something that like I really want to do, and I do think that studio session can benefit me. And let's say that studio session is on a Saturday. But let's say it's Thursday night and I got some friends that want to go out, and I also want to go out and meet some girls and like have some drinks. But let's say the income is at a limited amount, and like now I have to have the choice of like, do I go out and go get girls and have drinks, or do I save that money for a studio session Saturday? But like, once again, the studio session isn't mandatory, but like, in my mind, like, due to my goals and ambitions, is something that I might want to do because it could propel me forward as far as like getting things done. Then I feel like that's where impulse control becomes even more like harder to deal with versus like an actual need. Because like, let's say your rent's due Monday and you out Friday, you're not going to spend that money because you want to pay your rent. But like when it's something like, I feel like that's not mandatory, but and you have no evidence that it can potentially help you get to the next level, but you know that if you do it, that it's a higher chance that it will. I feel like that's when impulse control like definitely hits the hardest. You know what I mean? Like, cause like, look, I could just not go to the studio and go out and I'll have fun Thursday. Cool, fine. Like nothing bad's gonna happen. I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna hang out. probably kiss some girls I don't know, and then go home and be like, that was a good night. But then Saturday comes around, and then it's like time for the studio session, and then I have this small sense of regret because it's like, damn, I could have just not did that. And then like went and made the music that I really wanted to make, and I didn't. And then I think it like becomes what you're saying, like it becomes like a crutch. And then it's like, it gets to the point where it's like, you don't care about doing certain things because you don't have to do them, I guess. But I don't know. It's something that I'm still learning how to do. So like, hopefully y'all can leave some comments and tell us what you think, because I'm still trying to figure this ish out. The world is too accessible. It's too, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it should be very accessible. I just think like, man, like there's just so many things to do by choice, and so little things you have to do by need, and it can get in the way of like personal ambitions, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how I personally feel, and I'm like, man, that's why we're making this video right now, because I was about to go spend money I probably don't need to spend because I thought I was hungry.
Yeah, it goes to that. Reason being is just, if you ever had a routine, I believe one way to fight impulses or vices out there is to have a certain routine. You know, just schedule your life out, or just schedule your week out, and then it'll be like, okay, do I have time to be doing these other things when I have this coming up? You know, you're able to gauge how your life is.
I think the difficulty with that is the lottery mindset, and I just made that up. It might be a real thing, but I'm not sure.
What's the lottery mindset?
How I see lottery mindset is, even if you have a routine, if something new comes in the mix of that, the lottery mindset is like, doing that either could make me happy or could do something else for me that maybe I might enjoy.
I think, yeah, but if your ambitions are like lined up for one thing, like you can still set up a schedule where you're allowing yourself time to hit those like lottery moments or like go do free stuff. But like, just part of setting up that routine is like, it's like the 10,000 hours like mindset. Like, you got to put in the work and, you know, be present in the craft that you choose in order to like excel at it in any capacity. So, yeah, I don't know. Lost my train of thought there, but like,
You good?
y'all get what I'm saying.
No, I feel that. It's because it's like, you gotta be like, as you said, tunnel vision, you know? Like, what's that horse, they have them blinders when they're running? It's because it's like, even if like good things come your way, or you feel like it can be a good thing, does it really align with where you want to go or who you want to be at the end of the day?
That's a good question.
And if the only thing is that, oh, it's just gonna make me happy for those 30 minutes or that night, but when you wake up, you're like, man, I really feel like I shouldn't have done that. And you probably shouldn't be doing it, man. You know? And it's just like, I struggle with that. So me saying this out loud is like very hypocritical, but it's still of a point being where you have to be able to be, you need to be able to sit down with yourself. And like, if you know you have something in front of you, as you said, there's too many accessibilities that make us happy. We need to be able to pause for a second. Just stop for like at least 5 seconds. 5 seconds to 1 minute, and just think about, like, you know what, is this a good idea, or is this going to help me? And 9 times out of 10, it only helps you to feel better, and that is just an emotion, you know what I mean?
Like a short-term like remedy, almost.
Yeah, which can be useful at times, but like it can get to the point where it's like, damn, it's like, fuck.
Emotions can can only get you as far as it can, and emotions are just emotions at the end of the day.
Emotions aren't facts, right? That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true, but I heard emotions aren't facts; they're feelings.
Like, yeah, I mean, there's a difference between like the sky is blue or I feel like the sky is blue. I mean, just because you feel like the sky is blue doesn't mean it's blue. You gotta look up in the sky to say that it's blue.
Yeah. Just like I could be like, man, I feel like getting drunk, but then my body could be like, bruh, you should probably go work out. And it's like, just because I feel that way. Like, and I'm not saying, okay, I'm about to say something that's controversial, and do not take it literal. I'm not saying that alcohol is bad or doing drugs is bad or like dibbling and dabbling and whatever you may do in your free time is bad. What I am saying is just like what he said. Think about it for a second and think about if it aligns with what you want to do. And if it does bring you temporary joy, I would say like if you feel, I don't know about Brandon, he's like, he doesn't struggle with impulse control. He's like, he's got it.
Bro, what are you talking about?
But if you feel like us, I feel like I'm not like saying that I got the answer for y'all, but what I'm saying is just like maybe stop, think, and if you are gonna do it, like if you feel like you really struggle with it, maybe try to use it in a way that aligns with what you're trying to do. Try to be useful with it. That's my closing statement.
You got anything to say, Brandon?
Nah, just hell yeah, man.
We still
Good
lit.
stuff.
Yeah, it's late, but we lit and we being productive. So make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to McCray for being here. He's been hooking us up. Been awesome. All right. And we out. Peace.